Nilesh, it's great to have you here in our studio today. And what's really going to be cool about is we're going to be talking a lot about data and cybersecurity and machine learning, which is a topic that I really like. So we'd love for you to introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit more about Gurucul.
Absolutely. Thank you, Julian. It's a pleasure being here. So I'm Nilesh Dherange. I'm the co-founder and chief technology officer for Gurucul. Gurucul was founded in 2010. We are a security analytics company that was founded on data science that provides radical clarity to organizations regarding their cyber risk. The whole idea or premise with Gurucul was, bring in different silos of cybersecurity data. So when we started off back in 2009, 2010, the cybersecurity domain was divided into various different kind of silos. You had various different industry verticals. You had SIM products, EDRs, identity and access management, network, firewall, vulnerability management, and so on. There was no platform that could bring all of these different siloed information together into one centralized, data lake, link all of that information, and then truly use machine learning and AI, to come up with contextual, threat detection from it, right? So that was the whole idea of Gurucul. That's how, we started off with. I would say, we've been very successful over the years. As a matter of fact, after Gurucul was founded, we got morphed into an industry called UEBA, which is User Entity Behavior Analytics, which eventually, got morphed into sort of the next generation SIM. And, what we currently called as TDIR platform, which is Threat Detection, Investigations, and Response. So Gurucul, the platform, it's a real-time threat detection and investigation and response platform.
So I like everything you were saying about eliminating silos and then really building really cool experiences using machine learning. We'd love to see sort of at a high-level architecture what that looks like, if you have a way to show this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me bring that up right here. So this is our overall, security analytics and operations platform. So going from left to right here, essentially, the whole idea is that, we are able to pull in any kind of data, security, non-security, observability, identity-related information. The idea is that, be it any data source, any data platform, any data type, we are able to pull in that information, and that goes through our automated data interpretation engine. So this is our data pipelines where, all of this data gets linked together. It gets normalized, enriched, and truly what we do is create sort of a 360-degree view of that data element, right? Be it that entity, be it a device, be it a user. All of this information is then, stored into our own data lake, as well as any, what we have is open choice of big data, right? So which essentially means that, you can use any data lake. A number of our customers and prospects now, they prefer Snowflake as one of their preferred data lake. The data here, again, we completely believe in data democracy. So that means, you could have that data in any format, it doesn't really matter, right? On that data lake, then we have our various machine learning based and AI based techniques. So essentially, Gurucul, like I mentioned earlier, data science is fundamental, to our company. And, over the years, we have developed more than 2,500 plus machine learning based models, which cater to various different use cases, across the spectrum. That's what you see here. So in our singular platform, you got various different types of products, right from next generation SIM, UEBA, identity and access analytics, XDR, cloud security analytics, SOAR, and so on, right? All of these are part of a singular platform. One of the other sort of key differentiators for us is that customers don't have to implement various different products and then, worry about integrations and so on, right? And that's why that unified data lake also plays an important role here. You can just use any of these products, with a matter of license switch within the platform, right? And then, so all of these machine learning and AI-based techniques then, provide you with, real-time attack insights. That goes through our enterprise risk engine. Everything within, the platform, it's all risk-driven. As you know, risk can be different for different organizations. And at the end of the day, for any organization, the key criteria for them is to understand their business risk, right? Both from a security and as well as a non-security standpoint, right? So this is where, Gurucul's enterprise risk engine comes into play. So we generate one holistic risk score, which then drives context-based response. So we have automated, risk-driven SOAR capabilities as well, various different, hundreds of different playbooks which are available out of the box that can then do the mitigation and take, automated actions, right? So that's how the platform works in a nutshell, and essentially what it provides organizations is with complete visibility of their data, significant noise and false positive reduction, prioritized investigation with the entire context end to end, and really high fidelity automated detection and response.
Yeah, no, thanks for walking me through that. It sounds like by eliminating silos, right, you let customers have full visibility, which has tons of benefits on the business side, but also you've been able to create a ton of machine learning models that really help you score the risk across multiple areas of cybersecurity, which is really cool, which now makes me want to see a demo of how the product works and how do customers actually see all this risk information within the platform.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Julian, this is our our platform, which is Gurucul Complete TDR platform, threat detection, investigations, and response. The demo that I'm showing today, it completely runs off Snowflake. So Snowflake is our preferred choice of data lake in the backend. As you could see here, once you log into the platform, you're able to see some of the out-of-the-box dashboards. The platform itself has its own role-based access control. So the analyst or whoever user is logging into the platform, he or she would be able to see their view of the platform, right? Right now I'm an administrator, so I can see everything within the platform. So real quick, as you could see here on the dashboard, there are a lot of risk scores that are tied to various different elements within the platform, right? So the entire platform itself is risk driven. Risk is sort of fundamental to our platform. Every entity, every user, device, name it, gets a risk score between 1 to 100, 100 being the highest, right? So real quick on the dashboard, it will give you some details in terms of, what are some of the risky assets within your enterprise, risky identities, top endpoint alerts, network alerts, vulnerabilities, any phishing attempts, identity and threat detection based alerts, MITRE attack framework, and so on, right? So like I said, right, we encompass, various different kinds of use cases across the board, right? Now from here, you can actually drill down and see additional details. So, let's assume, I'll pick, one of these endpoints here, which is a desktop, which has got a risk score of 95. So once I click on it, so it gives you a contextual view of that particular entity, right? So in this case, it's a desktop, I can click on and see some of the additional details. So as you could see here, it gives me what kind of machine it is, it's a workstation, which network it is on, what's the MAC address, first seen, last seen, and so on, right? And this can come from, various different sources. It can even, come from, the device itself. It can come from, your CMDB, stores and so on, right? Real quick, if you scroll down on the timeline here, as you could see here, there are various different anomalies that are triggered, right? So these are behavioral anomalies that got triggered for this particular machine. Essentially, be it for, for any device or machine, we do behavior analysis wherein, we create sort of a baseline behavior of, that particular machine or an entity over a period of time, which is configurable. It could be, 3 months, 6 months, what have you, right? And we are not a black box solution, unlike, some of the other products out there. So what I mean by that is that you can actually drill down into any of these anomalies and see additional details in terms of what were the attributes that, that triggered this particular anomaly or alert for that matter, right? Again, as you could see here, once I, click on this, it gives you, there was, a proxy file download, which is followed by a high severity endpoint alert, right? It also gives you analytical features on the right here. So this actually helps, analyst pinpoint, what are some of the attributes in my data set that I need to look at, because these are the ones, that came out, through our machine learning based models that, okay, that this is what triggered this anomaly, right? And you can actually see that in here, right? So as you could see here for this particular anomaly, there was a payload that was executed, right? And then from here, you can certainly take actions, any mitigation actions, or if an analyst feels that, that they want to investigate further, then, they can just click on the investigate tab here and then get into additional details. So this is our one-stop shop search to search for anything within the data lake, right? And in this case, it's Snowflake. As you could see here, raw, activities or transactions, which are your log sources. You can even search for users, you can search for entities, accounts, peer groups, and so on, right? So everything from, one singular console in here, right? So if you look at, some of the data here, as I was talking about, right? I mean, it's a malware detection, right? Most of the traditional systems, what they would do is that, it would go ahead and probably, quarantine the device, right? And that's the extent of that mitigation, right? But, there could be, other areas that got impacted as well, right? Just this one alert or this anomaly won't give you sort of the complete picture. But with our platform, you're able to go beyond that. Remember, like I was saying that, we actually link all of those data silos together. And that's what you would see here. So for instance, this particular machine is, tied to a particular employee, right? So from here, I can actually go into, the employee's profile as well, similar to, what we did with the, with the machine, with the workstation. And real quick, as you could see here, I mean, this particular machine that got infected, it belongs to Claire, and now you can get additional details around that user as well, right? Claire, even she got risk rated higher, obviously, because her machine got infected as well. But it's not just that, right? Apart from that, as you could see here, there were also some abnormal logins to some of our cloud systems. In this case, Azure ID sign-in, right? I mean, there was a sign-in from a risky country. So this is potentially account compromise and credential that got accessed, right? So this actually helps you provide sort of the entire picture in one singular console within the platform. And like I mentioned earlier, so even with the users as well, you can actually see additional details in terms of who the user is. In this particular case, Claire, she's a personal banker, in liquidity department, for instance, right? So this is potentially a really good user that could potentially be targeted by threat actors, right? And then from here, you can actually go ahead and take any respond actions as well, right? So we have a complete case management system built within the platform. So all of these different anomalies actually get contextualized into one single case. Again, unlike some of the other traditional security systems where they create individual alerts for each of those transactions, which then creates the problem of tons of alerts, which the security analysts have a hard time trying to figure out, right? But with us, what we do is that all of this data is contextualized. So all of these anomalies essentially create just one case for you, right? And that's what you see within our case management. So it's easier, it's manageable cases, and like I mentioned earlier, we actually give only true detections. And then from here, you can trigger off an automated playbook as well, if needed, or close a case and the entire case workflow from here. So you're able to mitigate the entire threat chain, if you will, and not just one aspect of that threat, right? So that's why it's a lot more holistic. And there are a number of different things that are at play here, right? From data integrations, we got thousands of data sources that we integrate with. I talked about machine learning based models, hundreds of playbooks that that get triggered from the platform. Yeah, and the beauty is that everything runs on top of Snowflake. So we actually leverage a lot of those amazing compute capabilities of Snowflake as well, right?
Yeah, no, I think that was a really cool demo, sort of showing, I think, two things: helping prioritize things for the analysts using machine learning, and then not only be able to drill down, but also investigate, respond, and solve the case. So I think sort of like covers an end-to-end workflow in a way that simplified things, right? Even though you're adding more data, you're making it simpler by combining things and providing these aggregated risk scores around specific cases and everything like that. And you mentioned all of this is running in Snowflake, which hopefully also enables you to not just build a lot of integrations and bring a lot of data together, but maybe build some additional functionality within the platform that adds a little bit of advanced functionality for users that are running their data in Snowflake. Is there anything around that you also want us to demo today?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, right? I mean, obviously the entire platform runs on Snowflake. But other than that, we also have capability where you could actually search into your Snowflake data lake, and not just one workload, but across the board. So typically, I mean, you might know better, right? I mean, there might be multiple instances of Snowflake within an organization, used by security teams, by other teams such as maybe HR and operational teams or what have you, observability. So within our platform, we actually have the capability, and I can go that in here, for instance, right? If I go into investigate. As you could see here, there is a federated search option. So this option allows you to actually search Snowflake directly from this console itself. So earlier when we were talking about linking all of these data sets together, once you link all of this data information together, we are talking about terabytes and petabytes of data, right? So you don't really need to analyze all of that data, especially the contextual data. Once you are doing your investigations, if you feel that, okay, you need additional data points to look at, right from this console, and that's what I just did here, you could search into a Snowflake data lake as well, right? And that's what you can see here, right? So in this case, I've put in, one of my tenants, which is, Snowflake Planet Bank here, and I was able to search on those transactions, right? And as you could see here, it summarizes the transactions and what have you as well.
Awesome. So I think thanks for showing me that additional functionality. And I like how sort of as a security analyst, right, I still have access to all my Snowflake data and I even can search for it while still staying in the platform that you guys have added governance and security on top of as well. And so I think going back to the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned, right, the story behind Gurucul and like what are those steps? I think you mentioned this is not your first time, it's not your first rodeo starting something. Tell me a little bit more of the history of being a founder and sort of what led you along the way to start Gurucul, and then also what were some of the things you optimized along the way that eventually led you to use Snowflake as the platform where you'd build your product?
Yeah, no, absolutely, right. So I've been a technologist at heart, and been founding member of various different, companies, successful companies in the past. And the idea behind Gurucul actually came from some of my past experiences prior to this. I was in the identity and access management space, where we were helping organizations with their compliance requirements. And prior to that, I'd actually used and pioneered the use of analytics in the internet marketing domain. So this was when Google and the other search engines, they came up with various different advertising models, like a pay-per-click advertising model. So we used ML and analytics to help optimize business dollars on your marketing campaign dollars and so on, right? So when we started Gurucul, the idea was that, hey, why not apply some of that ML techniques in the cybersecurity realm, because there was nothing that was being done during I'm talking about 12 years back, right? So that's the whole idea with Gurucul. And in terms of the analytics and AI machine learning, so one of the key aspects of any analytics engine is, the better the data, the more the data that you can analyze, the better it is, right? That's what's going to give you high fidelity alerts, high fidelity results, right? And that's where Snowflake came in. So you're looking at a data lake that could perform at scale. One of the best parts of Snowflake is that it allows users to scale in the cloud when they want it. It's available to them. It's very easy and straightforward. And for us, the Snowflake integration was very easy. We were able to get it up and running in a matter of a month for that matter, right? So and we have a lot of customers who have Snowflake as their centralized data lake. So it just works out very well for us, right? Plus, the fact that Snowflake allows you to decouple the compute from storage, right? Which is also very crucial, especially when you're running an ML and AI-based engine.
Yeah, and I'm glad Snowflake was so useful in sort of like helping you more so develop, right, than spend time managing infrastructure, especially with that decoupled compute and storage, help you enable that world of like removing silos and focusing on machine learning, leveraging that history around, right, bidding for Google Ads and everything that was happening in that beginning of an era. Yeah. How has Snowflake enabled you to expand the product? You guys started leading in the cybersecurity space, right, with user behavior analytics. Yeah. How are you guys expanding the platform? And now that Snowflake helps you sort of like take care of so much of under the hood processing and infrastructure? Yeah,
no, absolutely, right. Snowflake helps us in various different ways. Like I said, we have the capability to run natively on Snowflake, and not just one instance or one workload as such. A number of organizations are using Snowflake as their data lake, maybe for security, for observability, operational efficiencies, and so on, right? So with Gurucul platform, Snowflake has given us the capability to run across all of those different data lakes in one singular platform as such, right? So it's really helped us with that. And other than that, the federated searches capability and the ability to really have data democracy, and the fact that you don't have to pull the data out and put it in another system, but you're able to do the investigations, the threat detection, analytics, while the data resides in your own Snowflake. I think that's huge, and that's amazing, right, for all our customers.
Nilesh, thanks for sharing all of that, both the demo showing us more about the platform and then your journey as a founder and how Snowflake continues to be part of that journey. If someone wants to learn more about Gurucul, where should they go?
Yeah, I think the best way to reach us is through gurucul.com.
Awesome. And of course, thank you to everyone that's watched this and joined us along the way. If you want to learn more about how to build on Snowflake, make sure to check out developers.snowflake.com. And if you want to hear more cool stories of builders that are using Snowflake to scale their applications, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channels. Thanks, until the next one.